Hey guys, it's me Haru, and welcome to episode 4 of SpyroCast. Today I have with me Jordan Fringe. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good. It's great to be able to talk to you.
It's great to be on.
Alright, so the first question I have is, what is your history with Spyro?
Well, it was one of the first games that I got into when I was very young, and it was a game, well, all three of them, but to me, mainly the first one that my dad and I played all the time, and that was when he actually played games, which he doesn't anymore, and hopefully with the Reignited, he'll get back into that, because he did last year with Crash for a bit, because that was another game we played, but with Spyro, it was, I don't know, something was just always there with that game, and ever since I was little, at least once a year, I go through and complete the games, and it's something I always think about, you know, like I didn't know there was a whole community up until earlier at the beginning of this year, and
Yeah.
you know, it's been, you know, my whole life of collecting and playing pretty much every iteration, not through all, like I never beat the Legend series just because I wasn't into it. I didn't like what the direction they took, but I get why people dig them. And then I tried giving Skylanders a shot, and I don't know. For me, I've always had Spyro around. I've always wished for like a true proper like remake for the originals, and so glad we're finally getting them. So it feels like I'm coming full circle from my childhood, and now being an adult, it just all feels like it's wrapping this part of my life up and making it all like, I don't know. I don't even know the right word for it, but it's really nostalgic and special.
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad that we're getting it too. It's like it's such a huge deal, you know, because part of me thought that we weren't actually gonna get it. I don't know why, but I mean, it's like I knew we were gonna get it, but then that little part thought, what if we're not? But then now that we are, it's just like it makes me so happy that we are.
Oh yeah, same.
All right. So what's your favorite Spyro game?
The first one. I know it's not quote unquote like the fan favorite or the most fleshed out or polished or best one, but for me, I have the fondest memories, and like I know everything about the first game like to a T. Like it's just I love the first one so much. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's the simplest one. Maybe just because I played it the most, or it was the first game out of all three, and that's what got me into it. I don't know, but it's the first one for me.
Nice. Like, yeah, a lot of people don't usually say that the first one is their favorite, so I'm very surprised to hear you say that. But,
yeah.
It is a very good game, and I love it too. So, you said you couldn't get into the Legend series?
Yeah. It was, I don't know what it was about it. I think I just had a bad taste in my mouth of Spyro from Enter the Dragonfly and Hero's Tale, that when A New Beginning came around, I was like, what happened? And I was just like, I don't know, this isn't really, like, I'm not digging the look of Spyro. I wasn't, like, I don't know, I just wasn't into it. And then I played it, and I was like, I don't know, like, it didn't feel like Spyro to me. It felt like any other, you know, game at the time that had you doing platforming and fighting. Like, it didn't feel like a Spyro game where you just bash or fire and you collect stuff. It just felt like you're gonna just keep attacking and spamming attacks to take down enemies, and I just wasn't into that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. Like, it's not that most of it was okay, except the one thing that I really didn't like was, like you said, the gameplay. It was just not. That's just not what Spyro was. So I don't know why they chose to like take it in that direction. It just didn't really seem right.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't like knock on people who love it or swear by it or enjoy it all its own, or that was their first one, because like I get it, you know. Some people, Skylanders is their first Spyro thing, and that's fine, you know. Like if you grew up with it or you like it, and that's, you know, that's why people have opinions, and if I don't knock them, you know.
Yeah. A lot of people do love the Legend series, especially on other forums and stuff that I go on. People love that. Bad taste in your mouth after Enter the Dragonfly.
Yeah.
So, So what do you say to the people who say that Enter the Dragonfly or A Hero's Tale should be remade?
I made a video a little while back, kind of covering the thought of it and what they could do. Like I do feel that after this reunited trilogy, that we should get a proper fourth Spyro game, whether that be a whole new creation on Toys for Bob's part or somewhat to try and fix the fourth game. I'm not opposed to trying and making the fourth game again, even Hero's Tale. But at the same time, I'd rather have something like exactly along the lines of what we're getting of the original trilogy. I'd rather a new story. They can even borrow elements from it, but there's just so much wrong in Enter the Dragonfly. Like, I don't hate Hero's Tale. I just don't think it's a great game. I think it's a solid Spyro game. But I don't know. There was just something off about both of those games for me, and there's just a lot of problems with Enter the Dragonfly that I'd rather not revisit that territory again. I don't want all the different breath powers. I think that defeats the purpose of being a dragon. I don't know. I didn't dig it at all. And I don't want to have bubble powers to go and capture the dragonflies again.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of dumb. So let's not do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, don't put bubble breath or I mean, I guess electricity breath was okay, but I mean, I say probably stick to just fire and ice probably, because ice is alright.
Yeah, because it's so little used, and it's used in ways that make sense. So I'm fine with that, and I don't think there really needs to be much more than that. You know, I think you're just gonna either overpower it or add too much into the game that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. So it seemed like Enter the Dragonfly was kind of coming off from where Year of the Dragon was. It was trying to be that same kind of the style as the original trilogy, where it was still kind of the same kind of platformy style and the collectathon thing. A Hero's Tale was kind of the same, but it was really different. It felt off. Something about that game really felt off.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure exactly what it was. I mean, it was...
I think it didn't have the love and care that, like, I'm sure the people who worked on it were talented, but it was the rushed schedule of Universal and their plans with it, rather than having Insomniac putting all the time and love into the original trilogy and knew what they were doing, rather than a whole new team just kind of being rushed to get deadlines and get it out before the holiday and stuff like that. And I think that's where we fall into the problems of why those games are not anywhere close to where 1, 2, and 3 are.
Yeah. I was saying that some of the levels in Hero's Tale kind of remind me of like something from Jak and Daxter or something. It seemed like it was trying to be like almost a completely different game. Yeah,
and that's why I still didn't mind it, but I don't think like on paper it's a Spyro game. You're Spyro in it. There's elements of Spyro. The story's okay, but Spyro's really not known for its crazy stories. It's just known for a goofy villain, and then you gotta rescue a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And I think when you kind of convolute that, you really lose the core of what Spyro was when you try to make it too much, you know?
Yeah. So you say Spyro 1 is your favorite. So what are some of your favorite levels from Spyro 1?
Well, there's quite a bit. I love a lot of the earlier levels because of just pure nostalgic reasons. Like, there's nothing special about Stone Hill. It's the first level you encounter, right?
Yeah.
But I just it's when I see that level or hear music from it, it's just like the most pure moment of nostalgia for me. I go there, I'm like, yes, I know this place, I'm familiar with it, I'm at peace here. I like a lot of the stuff from when you get to Peacekeepers. I think a lot of the levels there are pretty iconic. Cliff Town, Ice Cavern, I think both of those are solid levels in terms of music, design, and enemies. It's just, they're fantastic. home worlds for me are a big deal. Like I love Peacekeepers is my ultimate favorite.
That's
but,
my
like,
favorite too. I love it.
I just like the vibe there. I think it's a fun, goofy level, like or area to get to the other levels. And of course, Artisan's Home, Magic Crafters, I think is great. Like the later levels, like I do enjoy stuff from Beastmakers, Dreamweavers, and then Nasty's World, but they're in my like lower percentile of favorited levels. I like a lot of the earlier stuff. For some reason, I'm more fond of it, and I can't explain why. I think it's just level design, characters, and all that. I just like more from those levels, but I know that's just me holding on to stuff I love from being a kid till now. So
yeah, it seems like it's like that way with a lot of games where like the earlier stuff in the game like sticks with you more than the later stuff.
yeah.
So that's but I also really enjoy Peacekeepers. My favorite level in that world is Ice Cavern. It's such a
Great level.
Yeah, such a great level with an amazing soundtrack. That is one of my favorite tracks.
Easily one of the best songs produced.
Yeah, but a lot of the reason that I like Peacekeepers is because I love the dragons there. They're my favorite type of dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like their design with their spots and stuff. Kind of reminds me of a cheetah. Looks really cool.
That's fair. That's pretty cool.
My favorite level, though, in the entire game is Treetops, which
really
some people would kind of give me looks for that because, well, Treetops is kind of notorious.
It's a level, that's for sure. It's a level that can either give a lot of people frustration or people just really don't like for some reason. I have no hate towards it. I think it's actually a well-designed, pretty fun level once you know it. Like once you're used to how to do everything and just know it by heart, I think it's a pretty solid level. I like the music. I like the environment, the design of it. But I can understand why people don't like it. But I think that's pretty cool that that's your favorite.
Yeah, it's just like because I still have my fair share of trouble with it when I can't exactly get the last jump right on that supercharge. Yeah. But yeah, it happens. But it's always so satisfying to like pull it off and say like I did it. Like every single time, it keeps giving me that satisfaction. So it just became my favorite level because of that.
Awesome.
What are some things that you're looking forward to in Reignited, or some of the things that we've seen so far? Like, what are some of your favorite things that we've seen so far?
Well, I definitely like the consistent, effort that they've put out there to show us a lot of what they can from the first game. I think that the coolest thing and the best thing about what we've seen so far is how cool and unique and interesting every dragon they show off is. Because a lot of people were worried when we saw quote unquote Nestor.
Yeah.
At the beginning, which I'm gonna say this now, I do not believe that's Nestor at all. I think that's a lie. That's a different dragon, and I'm gonna say that here and now, so it's on the record. So if I'm right, people can refer back to this video of me saying that that's not Nestor. Because when I think of Nestor, I don't think of just a smart, guy or someone who's just going to give knowledge. You see all these other dragons that are like insane and tough and like huge or like all different shapes and sizes, right?
Yeah.
I think that Nestor's like a bigger, buffer like leader. I think that he's like a huge dragon. I don't think he's just this average. I don't want to say that the dragon they showed is like average looking, but he's more on the generic side. Like he didn't have anything too crazy about him besides his hat. So I don't think that's Nestor, but I think every dragon we have seen is just like incredible. Like when I was at E3 and we got to play through Treetops and through Toasty and Sunny Flight, seeing the dragons like in Treetops, like all the different ones, their animations, the way they speak, their attitude, their personality, everything about them is so well done. And I commend Toys for Bob and all the animators and writers and voice actors for making everything feel different and unique and not just a cookie cutter look for every single dragon. I think they went above and beyond in the time they've had to make this game to make every dragon interaction and every character feel different. So like when you remember these, like if this is the first time you ever play Spyro, you're gonna remember like Nestor, you're gonna remember Isaac, because like, oh, I remember his look, the way he talks, I remember him. And when you go back to the originals, it's like you can remember off of base what they said, not specifically their looks, because for the most part, aside from like one or two variations, every dragon was the same dragon with just a different voice. And now we have the opportunity to really know and distinguish these different dragons from just the way they look and how their attitude is. And I think that's a really big thing. And I think it's the best thing that we've seen so far. I know a lot of people were worried right off the bat when we saw a quote-unquote fake Nestor.
Yeah.
But now I think there's no worries. Yeah, everyone was worried about the hat. I even made a video on it, because like everyone was talking about it. But I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think all these dragons are looking great. I think the gameplay, from what I've played, is just like the original. It feels great. It runs great. And I couldn't be happier with the product that we're seeing. I think there's a too much of people worrying about the second and third game. Like, where are they?
Yeah.
Why haven't they shown them yet?
I get a lot of comments like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like every other comment on my videos, like, that's cool, but I want to see the second game already. And the thing is, if they never did this much information with the first game and started being all community driven, no one would be this ASCII for it. Like, they wouldn't be like, show me two. They wouldn't, because we would have had a trailer, maybe a couple bits of information, then E3. We wouldn't have had all this build up and lead up and gameplay and images and concept art. But since we do, I feel like people are getting to a point where they feel too entitled to the drops. Like they need to see two, or else the game is doomed to fail because they're not showing it. So there must be a reason they're not showing it. The stuff they've shown, they've barely showed us the first game. It's like people, it's like they showed us so much of one. It's like they've showed us a lot of some levels, but they have not showed us anywhere close to 10% of the first game.
Yeah, that's actually true. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, wow, we actually haven't seen a lot.
And every time we get gameplay, aside from the E3 demo, all it is like 5 to 10 seconds. We don't see anything. We just get to see a quick snippet, and then it goes away. And like I think the biggest drop is that we got to see Bubba. Like that animation, like that's one of the bigger drops. Yeah. It's like, wow, that's really cool. But that doesn't mean we've seen the whole game. That's more Misty Bog stuff that we've already seen. And it to me, it's like we have so much of the first game. And I do think in July here, about mid-July, I think is when we're going to start seeing stuff from the second game. There's 3 more conventions that are major that come out before the game releases, which is Comic-Con in mid-July. Mm-hmm. Then you have Gamescom, which I believe is in July. So I forget the dates on that. And then you have PAX West, which is at the end of August, beginning of September. Now, obviously, I don't think they're going to wait till PAX West to show anything from 2. I think, if anything, maybe they'll show some 3 there. Or they might not even go to that one. Who knows? But I feel like maybe they would, because they announced the first game during PAX East. Or they announced it first at PAX East. So we'll see on that. But I do think perhaps Comic-Con could be a good event to drop something. They don't do it at like your average convention. E3 came around. They didn't do anything major. There was no new trailer, no new drops of 2 or 3. It was just, you can play the game and here's some B-roll footage. They didn't want to get overshadowed by everything. And at Comic-Con, where the biggest focus is movies in the entertainment world, why not drop something this big gaming related and steal the show?
That's very true. Like, they do want to steal the show. I've noticed that, yeah.
So I think that could be a good segue into 2. If not, maybe Gamescom, but I don't know how that's, because that's more that's gaming. So I don't know if they really want to go there and be like, hey, other games, look at our game. When they could just go to somewhere where everyone's focused on what's the next Marvel movie or DC movie or whatever. They could just be like, hey, we got Spyro over here. And then everyone shifts their attention. Oh, did someone say Spyro? Boom. And drop an incredible trailer of 2 or some footage of 2 and then blow everyone's mind. And then, of course, the second we get that, leading up to like a month wait to maybe even see anything from the third game, everyone's going to be, that's cool. I want to see the third game. And I guarantee that's going to happen. The second we get footage from 2, people aren't going to be satisfied. They're like, okay, now I want 3. And people don't understand. It's like the game comes out at this point in less than 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, we're more than, the other day was like halfway since it was announced to the release date. Like, we're literally almost there, and the game is going to be great. I know people want updates to understand and to see what the game is that's actually being made, and it's not all facade, and there's actually 2 other games. But let me tell you, there are 2 other games. They're being made, but why would they give you everything right now? I don't understand that logic. It's like, hey, let me just spoil everything right now. Let me just give you all the information on 2. Screw it. Hey, here's information on 3 while we're at it. And hey, here, spoiler, hey, we're making a 4th game next year. Here's a look at that too. We don't want all that yet. Why? I don't want it spoiled yet. Like, it's like, what's to spoil though? To me, like why do people need to know what's happening? We have the old games, and it's like, this is, we're getting, just imagine it in your head and be excited and be ready for it. And when we get it, then you can talk and praise and show it off, because that's when it's going to be the biggest event, is when everyone can play and be happy and have fun. And we are going to get to that point literally in less than 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think people just need to dial back in their the way they see it, because it's turned into people getting it used to be people get excited when they drop Spyro stuff. Everyone was like, yeah, oh yeah, let me see that. I need that. Show me that. Oh yeah, talk about it. And now it's turned into, nah, I don't, just take that Bubba out of here. I need 2. Show me an orb. Show me Elora. Show me Avalar. Show me Autumn Plains. It's like, okay, do you want to just give you the whole game right now unfinished? No? Okay, then wait. Like, it's gonna happen. We're gonna see that stuff, and we will see 2 way before the game releases. It's just, oh my god, I honestly wish they didn't show anything from the first game at this point.
Yeah,
just show us, like, nothing, so everyone could just relax, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I almost like how they're not showing stuff from 2 and 3, because, like, I want to be surprised when I first see it. Like, I would be okay if, like, we didn't see anything, like, at all until, like, I actually, got my hands on the game, and then I saw it, like, for the first time in game, and then I could be surprised that way. That would actually be awesome.
And there's gonna be so, like, regardless of what they end up, showing, there's already gonna be so much that we haven't seen that's gonna be a first time. Like, it's insane. There's gonna be so many moments, just the first game, like I said, that we're gonna be able to see, like, for the first time, that hasn't been shown. Like, they don't need to, like, everyone's like, what about Dreamweavers? Like, we got a little bit of it. That's enough. Like yeah. That we know we kind of get a little glimpse. That's all we need. But what about all the other homeworlds? Good. Don't show me the other homeworlds. Let that be a magical experience when I land in a new area and I see Dreamweavers in its full glory for the first time. Insane. That'll be amazing.
Oh, that's
so. Why don't we?
I can see it in my head. It's gonna be beautiful.
It's going to be great. And that's the fun thing, the speculation. You get to see it in your head and get to come up with these ideas. And then when the full thing comes out, you can be like, wow, that's actually really close, or different than I expected, or mind-blowing. Or maybe you might be disappointed, but that's up for when you first see it. And I don't think we need to be spoiled with every little detail of the game. I think little bits of stuff here and there are fine. And I mean, I don't know, I'm sorry I went on for like way too long about all that, but yeah, that's how I feel.
No, please don't be sorry for going on long. Like, I like to keep these SpyroCasts going, and it's always great to hear people's opinions. So, yeah, I really don't understand the people who were saying, that 2 and 3 are gonna be added in DLC. I mean, what?
Oh god, those comments are so... A Canadian guy, A, and I talk all the time about those comments, because him and I get those comments literally, daily, literally, hourly. Literally every other comment. Like it's to a point where it's like, is it just the first game that they're making, or are they making the other ones? It's called a trilogy. That includes 3 games, just like Crash Bandicoot did. All the same games, all on one disc. It's a really easy concept to understand for any age. So I don't know the age of the commenters asking. They could be 6. They could be 36. But I think it's a pretty basic thing to understand that the word trilogy means 3.
Yeah. I mean, like, just, yeah, and even, like, look at the cover. It's the same as Crash Insane Trilogy.
Like, they're like, I don't even understand how people can even ask that question now that we even have the cover, where it shows all 3 games.
Yeah, it's like, you see it, and then you still ask it. It's like, what? I just don't understand.
I don't get it either. But that's the internet, man. People usually don't watch videos and leave comments right away, or just really don't pay attention to the news, but think they do. So
you've made videos on things that you're looking forward to from from Spyro 1 and 2. Have you made any videos on what you're looking forward to from 3?
Yeah, I've done 3 different series. I believe 3. I don't know. I maybe lost count at this point, but I've done one for levels, one for music, and one for enemies. And I've done all of those for each game. One video for each game and all those series, except for the enemies one. I haven't finished or done my one for part 3 of enemies from the 3rd game, but I have covered the 3rd game's music and levels.
Music and levels. That's right. So what was your favorite level from the 3rd game?
Trying to remember what I ultimately went with, because there was the top 2 I was struggling with. But I think at the end of the day, I still went with Sergeant Bird's base, just because I love Sergeant Bird and I love his mission. I love the level's music. I love him. He's my favorite character besides Spyro in that game. So ultimately, I went with that.
Yeah, Sergeant Bird's cool. He's my favorite of the critters to play as.
I think he's the best controlled. I literally don't like half the other controls for the other ones, honestly.
Yeah, he's my favorite to play as, though. Agent 9 is my favorite as a character, though. He just cracks me up.
He's a funny character, but his missions are kind of annoying.
He has some sucky controls, but
yeah.
Hopefully they'll touch that up, make it kind of like Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be pretty. Yeah, it's funny how you'd say like you like Sergeant Bird's missions and stuff, because my favorite level is Enchanted Towers, and that's mostly because of the Sergeant Bird's mission in it.
Mm-hmm.
Where you get to just like fly around and explore the towers. That was so much fun.
It was an interesting concept to switch the character like in the level, like instead of just having its own mission. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's something so different.
And then you got the skate park too. So
yeah, the skate park was cool. It's probably the only level that has challenges that I don't like completely hate or like dislike in some way. I'm not saying like I hate all the other challenges, but like pretty much every level in that game has at least one challenge that I don't like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I can't even remember people usually say Bentley boxing, but I can't even remember what that was like. It was so long ago.
It's not fun. I just recently did it twice on a stream because it didn't save progress.
Oh,
and I had to do it again. But I did it twice. It still sucks.
Yeah. Every time I think of least favorite challenges, I always go to the demolition competition in Haunted Tomb. I
just did that last night on stream.
Oh.
Yeah, that was not fun. There was some raging going on. But I get better at the games when I get angry at them.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Get more focused, I guess.
It's funny, because like when I do something over and over again, I progressively get worse at it until I calm down. Because I was just playing the Insane Trilogy last night, and like I was trying to get the platinum relics, and like every time I go through it, I just like I get worse every time. I keep like falling down pits, and it's not fun trying to get those platinums sometimes.
For sure.
Well, I think that is going to do it for this episode. It's a little shorter this time. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And I hope to have you on sometime again in the future when more Reignited stuff drops and we can talk all about that.
Absolutely.
As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, this is me, Haru, signing off.